Everybody talks about human evolution. You've seen the picture. That famous line of figures, starting with a hunched over ape on the left and ending with you striding along proudly on the right. And every time I see it, I want to climb down from my tree and have a word. Because that ape on the far left, that's family. And the way this story usually gets told by you, about you, leaves out the most important character, me. So today, you're going to hear how you happened, not from a scientist, from an actual ape. Let's set the record straight. First, let's kill the biggest myth of all, because it drives me up the trunk. You did not evolve from me. You did not evolve from chimpanzees. I am not an early, unfinished version of you. Get that idea out of your head. Here's the truth. You and I are cousins. A long time ago, somewhere between 7 and 13 million years ago, there was one single population of apes living in Africa. Not humans, not chimps, just apes. And that group split. One branch wandered off down one path and eventually became me. The other branch wandered down a different path and eventually became you. We come from the same grandparent. You just went off and did something very strange with your side of the family. So when you look at me, you're not looking at your ancestor. You're looking at your cousin who stayed home. Now let me tell you what your side got up to. It starts, believe it or not, with standing up. Around 7 million years ago, we meet the first character in your story, a creature called Sahelanthropus, and he barely looks like anything special. Small brain, about the size of mine, still very apish, but there's a clue in his skull. The hole where the spine connects sits underneath, not behind, which hints at something that was about to change everything. He was starting to hold himself upright. And this is the thing you have to understand about your whole origin story. It did not begin with a big brain. Everyone assumes the brain came first, that your ancestors got smart, and then stood up. Wrong. It's the opposite. Your ancestors stood up first. While they were still dim little creatures with brains no bigger than mine, walking came millions of years before the thinking. And that one decision, to get up off the knuckles and balance on two legs, set off a chain reaction that would end with skyscrapers and spaceships. But at the time, it just looked like a slightly awkward ape, standing up in the grass. Then comes the one you've actually heard of. Around 3.2 million years ago, meet Lucy. Lucy belonged to a species called Australopithecus, and she is one of the most famous ancestors ever found. And Lucy is important because she settles an old argument. She walked fully, properly, upright on two legs all the time. We know from her skeleton. But here's what I love about Lucy, the detail that tells you she's caught right in the middle of the story. She still had long, strong arms and curved fingers because Lucy still climbed trees. She slept up in the branches like a sensible ape, my kind of girl. She walked the ground like you, but she ran home to the trees at night, like me. She was standing with 1 foot in your world and 1 foot in mine. And her brain? Still small, still about the size of mine. 3 million years into your grand story. And your ancestors were upright, clever-handed, but not yet what you'd call brainy. So for millions of years, nothing much happened up here, in the head. Your ancestors walked around on two legs with ape-sized brains. And honestly, they were doing fine. And then, something lit the fuse. Around 2.5 to 2 million years ago, 3 things happened almost together, and they changed the fate of the planet. Tools, meat, and brains. Here's the chain reaction, and it's beautiful. Your ancestors picked up sharp stones and started making tools. Real tools made on purpose. With those tools, they could cut meat, and crucially, they could crack open bones and get at the marrow inside, a food so rich in energy that nothing else on the savannah could reach it. And that flood of new calories fueled the single most expensive organ an animal can grow, a big brain. Because here's a secret about your brain that you never think about. It is outrageously greedy. Your brain is about 2% of your body weight, but it burns around 20% of your energy, just sitting there. A brain like yours is almost impossibly costly to run. No creature can afford one on leaves and fruit alone. It was the tools and the meat and the marrow that paid the bill. This is the moment your ancestors truly stepped away from me. I stayed on fruit and leaves with a sensible, affordable brain. Your side started eating meat, growing a monster brain, and there was no going back. The creature at the center of this leap gets called Homo habilis, the handyman. His brain had started to swell past anything we apes carry. And from here, your story speeds up. Fast, because next comes the traveler. Around 1.9 million years ago, Homo erectus stands up, and he is the first one who would look from a distance almost like you. Tall, long-legged, built to walk and run across open country, with a body that had finally fully committed to the ground. No more climbing home to the trees. This was a creature of the open world. And Homo erectus did something no ancestor had ever done. He left. He walked right out of Africa and spread across the entire continent of Asia, surviving for over 1 million years, an almost unimaginable run of success. Somewhere in his time, your ancestors mastered the thing I still won't go near: fire. And with fire came cooked food, which is like a cheat code for the brain. Cooking pre-digests your meal, unlocking even more energy, feeding that greedy brain even further. The brain grows, the tools get better, the fire burns brighter, and each one pushes the others forward. Your ancestors were now on a runaway train, and the destination was intelligence like the planet had never seen. And then the branch explodes. Because here's something the tidy picture with the single line never tells you. For most of this story, there was never just one kind of human. The family tree wasn't a ladder. It was a tangled, messy bush. As your ancestors spread across the world, they split into many different kinds of human, all alive at the same time. In Europe and the Middle East, one group became the Neanderthals. Tough, cold-adapted, powerful with brains as big as yours. In Asia, another group became the Denisovans. So mysterious, we know them mostly from scraps of bone and traces of DNA. On a remote island, a group shrank down into the tiny hobbit humans. There were others too. For a long, long stretch of time, if you walked across the ancient world, you would have met several completely different species of human. You were not special. You were not alone. You were just one twig on a crowded branch. And your twig, the one that became you, Homo sapiens, showed up in Africa somewhere around 300,000 years ago. And on paper, you did not stand out. You weren't the strongest human. That was the Neanderthal. You weren't built for the cold. You were just another kind of human among several. So the real question, the one that should keep you humble, is this: out of all those different humans, all those cousins, why are you the only one left? The answer isn't muscle, it's the thing inside that greedy skull. Your particular kind of human developed something extraordinary. You could imagine things that did not exist. You told stories. You drew on cave walls. You believed in ideas. And those shared ideas let you cooperate in huge numbers, thousands of strangers working together, bound by a story. No other human, no other animal ever pulled that off at your scale. And slowly, over tens of thousands of years, you spread into every corner of the earth, into the lands of the Neanderthal, into the lands of the Denisovans. And one by one, all of those other humans faded away until only your twig was left on the entire tree. But here's the twist that makes even me pause. They didn't vanish completely. Because when your ancestors met those other humans, they didn't only compete with them, they started families with them. And that ancient DNA never left. If your roots lie outside Africa, you are carrying a little bit of Neanderthal inside you right now. Maybe a little Denisovan too. Those vanished cousins are not entirely gone. They live on, hidden inside you, the last human standing. So let's go back to that famous picture. The line of figures from the hunched ape on the left to you striding along on the right. Now you know why it's wrong. Evolution wasn't a straight march with a finish line, and you at the end of it as the goal. It was a wild, branching bush full of dead ends and lost cousins and creatures that walked before they ever thought. It was luck and marrow and fire and story. And it started with a single group of apes, one of whom stayed in the trees and became me. You're not the top of a ladder. You're the last survivor of a family that once filled the world. So maybe be a little kinder to that ape on the left of the picture. That's your cousin. And your cousin is still up here, watching you, a little amused that of all the humans who ever lived, the strange storytelling one is the only one who made it. Now, if you want to know which of your lost cousins was the most terrifying of them all, the humans that even I would never have climbed down to meet, click the video right there. I'll keep your spot in the tree warm. Somebody should use it.